And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. As always, I'm your host Joel, and man, I'm in a way this week, Matt. I tell you, I just came back from Philadelphia. You can tell because I got my Philadelphia Eagles shirt on that I bought while I was there. I'm jet lagged. I worked way harder today than I thought I was going to, but I just had to catch up on everything because we had to bring you this show tonight. A day late than usual, but it'll still be up on Wednesday, and it will be up for all the nice patrons as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Yeah, you've had a busy couple of days. Then yeah.
I am amazed that I'm even as with it as I was. Again, on my plane to actually take me back to Canada left at 6 a.m., which means I had to be up at 3 at the hotel, to the airport by 4, and on the plane to get back here by 7, just so I could, have someone pick me up at the airport.
Oh jeez.
Although I was lucky though, because there's that big Carolina hurricane going on in the States. A bunch of my friends who went after me to the airport got stuck there for like 5 hours because planes got delayed.
Oh damn, that sucks.
Mm. So I cannot complain. But yes, I just came back from Keystone Comic Con. I have a video up now on the channel telling everybody how I went. It's the first year they ran it. Jason, the dude from Reed Pop, who was, partly responsible for bringing me out there and everything, as well as a bunch of fans who donated to a thing to get me out there as well. Yeah, it was a first con. Some bugs they're working out and everything. I think they're going to have it earlier next year, they were talking about, because it's 2 weeks from New York Comic Con.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't like New York Comic Con next, like this coming weekend?
It's very soon, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which is like the same weekend I'm gonna be at a Comic Con here in Australia as well.
Yeah, we have so many Comic Cons now, they're starting to pile up. I will say, though, having it be a lot lighter on the floor and having not as many people show up was excellent for me because I just got to go up and pester as many comic writers as I wanted.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I pestered I pestered Jim Zub. I pestered David F. Walker. I met Nick Spencer for the very first time.
Oh, nice. What was he like?
He was quite nice. He was even nicer when I told him how much that I liked Secret Empire because I came up and they're like, "Hey, man," he's like,
You
"Please don't
probably
tell me you're one."
scared the shit out of him.
Probably a little bit like, "Hey, man, I thought Secret Empire was great. Loving what you're doing with Spider." I was like, "Oh, okay." No one comes at me that aggressively and has nice things to say. Here's the shocking thing about Nick Spencer: tiny guy,
Yeah.
not that tall. Yeah, not that tall. He writes like a much taller man. He writes like a man of at least 6'8".
He writes like he is 6'8".
He writes like a much taller man. But no, he was very pleasant and very cool. A bunch of celebrities walked by me is the funny thing because I stayed at the Marriott and it was the one connected to the convention center by Skybridge. Who did I meet? Oh, Frank Miller, crazy Frank Miller's security detail told me to get out of the way.
That's cool.
As he walked along, although I say walk, it's more like he shuffled along like the part zombie man that he is. Like he's at that age where maybe he should be in a wheelchair, or maybe he should have a cane where it's like, fuck it, that's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck weakness. Here's another thing. I held the door for a dude in a wheelchair and like his whole family. I thought he was just a dude, and I'm like, oh, how pleasant were they? I found out later that was Carol Spinney. That was the original Big Bird from
Oh
Sesame
wow.
Street.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So I held the door for Big Bird, everybody. I also met, what is it, wrestler Tommy Dreamer, and I almost met wrestler Bully Ray. He was signing into the hotel, like, on the Saturday, and, like, I passed him, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's Bully Ray, and, the people with me, they don't watch wrestling, they don't care, and I'm like, oh, he's one of the Dudley Boys, 10-time tag team champion, and I could tell he was having, like, that moment of, like, oh, here they come, they're gonna talk to me, and then, like, well, you should say hi, Joel, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to bother him, and then we just walked by. So I'm sure I made his day, and oh, good, he didn't bother me when I was signing into the hotel. But, enough about me, Matt. How was your week?
Yeah, it was pretty good catching up on my comic reviews. I've been planning what I'm going to be doing for this Comic Con I've got coming up this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm actually going to be, since I was lucky enough to get Media Pass, so I didn't have to pay for my ticket. So I'm there for me.
That's
there for
always
media.
the best feeling.
So I ended up going to be staying in the city for that. So that's going to be
Cool.
really fun. So hopefully there'll be like some type of video like what you did with yours.
Yeah. I know Repop, the company that got me out to this one, apparently they do like conventions all over the world, like even countries you wouldn't expect, like India and Africa and everything. I think they have one in Australia too. I know they had one in London and Scotland. They do MCM.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. Well, I think I remember Tom talking about it back in the day that that was the one he went out to, MCM.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah.
They have outlets all over the world except for Canada. Except for the country I live. I'm like, guys, hey, you want to do something here? I can help. Well, you know why they don't do it? Because Fan Expo is run by someone else, and Fan Expo is the biggest one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the convention turf wars, which again, that was another problem I think with Philadelphia. More people were loyal to Wizard World because Wizard World has been in Philadelphia since like day one.
Yeah, well, that's like here in Australia. We've got the one I'm going to next weekend called Oz Comic Con, and then I think in 2 months we have one called Supernova. And Supernova was the one that was before it, and it's the one everyone goes to. But now everyone's starting to come over to Oz Comic Con because it's like a
Right.
bigger venue and everything. And yeah, it's very strange that they have them so close together.
Again, it's like a turf war. I will say this about the people of Philadelphia. Some of the nicest people ever, actually. The people at the hotel, the people at the airport, everyone was super cheery. It's the city of brotherly love, and I really felt it.
Okay, it's funny like the company you were telling me about that organized this. They're the ones who organized Oz Comic Con.
There you go. Like I said, all over the world. Again, I met the dude Jason. He gave me his card and saying, "Hey, talk to us if maybe you want to get out to some of these other ones. Maybe one of these days I will finally make the long trek to Australia.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be fun. We can actually do an else, or we can actually do like a freaking comic multiverse in the same room. Wouldn't that be some shit?"
Yeah.
I thought of this too on the trip, Matt. I've worked with you longer than I've worked with anyone else online.
Really?
Yes, I've worked with you
Wow.
longer than anyone else, and I know so little about you. You're such a private, guarded person. I think you have siblings. I don't think you're an only child, but I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yes, I do have siblings. Well, that's one of the things I could told myself I wasn't gonna be like all these other people and like record every intimate detail of my life,
About your life.
because that
That's
can
fair,
obviously get very like ugly if
It
you do
can.
that. Yeah.
And I respect you for doing that. And when I started, I tried to do that too, but I also am like, nah, I got to get more of myself out there. I mean, just recently, because of the channel, people know my mom and dad now because of that, because they've shown up in different projects I've been doing. Because I'm like, oh crap, they're here. I might as well do it. Makes me look more human and relatable. Joel has parents too. He just wasn't grown in a lab.
Joel is a human.
Hmm. I think he eats food and probably sleeps. In some cases, I'm sure he does those more than he probably should. Eats and sleeps too much. But yes, everyone, of course, the week I go to wait a con, the week that we have to preempt the show a day, is the week that all the shit happens at once.
All of the shit.
All of this shit happens at once. We were running on fumes, Matt, for so many days here after what is it? After San Diego Comic Con, there was nothing to talk about. Now it seems that everything is all hit at once.
Oh boy, did it ever.
Yeah. So with that, let's take a look at the news that we got. And, oh, thank you, Skype. You updated again, and once again, I can't find the things that I have written. Wonderful. What a great app.
Fantastic.
What a freaking great app. All right, so starting things off, this happened early in the week. This actually happened as I was there. Henry Cavill might be done with being Superman, or Superman might be done with him, but
Yeah.
maybe not.
Well, they weren't very like open about it or anything, but yeah, all things point to like him not coming back to that role.
They're being super non-committal about it, but yeah, by and large, it seems to be, hey, have you heard any news about Man of Steel 2 in like the last 5 years? No.
Yeah, or any other type of Superman related film? No.
That's not Supergirl or isn't like, Superman Red Sun, but basically, yeah, all things we don't need Henry Cavill for.
Yeah, yeah.
Justice League opened soft. There was rumors that apparently he was supposed to show up in Shazam, but they either cut him or he couldn't make it because of scheduling conflicts because, hey, if you didn't notice, he's actually doing good elsewhere. He was in Mission Impossible. He's going to be the Witcher in The Witcher.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the guy's doing pretty well for himself now outside of like the DC films. So like He doesn't particularly need them anymore.
No, no, this isn't like one of those things where it's like this is his only claim to fame and he needs those Superman paychecks. Again, doing fine elsewhere, and I will weep no tears for him because he seems to be doing quite well.
Well, that's the thing. Like elsewhere, every role outside of playing Superman, he shows that he can act. He has
Mm.
charisma. He has chemistry with his castmates, except for the DC cinematic universe.
Which isn't that the saddest thing where it's like, man, you never really got, if this is the end of you as Superman, you never really got a chance, did you? You were hamstrung every step of the way.
Yeah, you cast someone who is charismatic and friendly and everything as a charismatic and friendly superhero, and don't take
Yep.
advantage of that.
Whether it was Man of Steel, where it's like, okay, we're reinventing the wheel for no reason here, be really dour, sad, alien, and unapproachable the whole movie, to Batman v Superman, where it's like, well, we don't really care about you anymore. We really care about establishing Ben Affleck as Batman. Oh, and a little bit of Gal Gadot, to Justice League, where it's like, well, you'll be dead for most of the movie, so you're not even going to be in it. And when you are, you're going to have a terrible CGI mustache face that will scare and confuse the audience.
Yeah, yeah. It's such a shame because with the right material, he would have been a really good Superman, I think.
It's definitely one of those, now that it might be over, you think about the road not traveled and you think about the what ifs. Also too, this looks really bad on them because it's like, wait, so you're not going to be moving ahead with your Superman, your Batman movie has stalled, and now your Batman is in rehab.
Yeah.
Which was another thing. Ben Affleck is going back to rehab again for booze. I didn't mention this when it was actually a thing a couple of weeks ago because I felt bad about mentioning it. Because I'm like, well, that's not really news so much as it's sad stuff happening in a dude's personal life. But yeah, you're down a Batman and a Superman now. Your Wonder Woman movie is sounding more and more like an in-universe reboot.
Oh, it totally is. It totally is.
And you're going full force with Shazam and Aquaman now, two movies that kind of operate on their own and don't really need Batman and Superman in them. Again, are we in the soft reboot stage now of the DC universe officially?
Of course we are. Of course we are.
Now, again, Cavil's manager was sure to come out online and be like, no, 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 don't worry. He still has the cape. He's still dedicated to this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, again, that's a very non-committal
It was
answer.
very vague. It was a very vague. As people were saying, it's probably like some negotiation tactic where like
Mm,
they say that he's not going to play it, so that all the fans come out and say let him play it, let him play it. So it shows like, look, all these people want me. Let me have a movie.
it's called generating interest is what it
Yeah.
is. It's like, well, none of you motherfuckers cared about Man of Steel 2 before you thought you weren't going to get one
You know, they didn't care about it because they weren't given a reason to care about it.
because they weren't given a reason to care about it. I thought of it too, where it's like, oh, is he keeping the costume at least until they do that proposed Supergirl project where he can show up, give exposition, and then pass the torch and be like, okay, you're the super person now of this universe. I will go away now.
Probably. Probably. But even
I could see
WB
that.
came out with one, but it was just like a statement that was like so vague. They're like, Henry Cavill is an actor. That's
He is
basically
in
what it
movies.
was.
Boy, what an actor he is.
He's in movies, sometimes our movies, but not recently.
Henry Cavill also apparently gave some very vague stuff on Instagram, which I didn't see because I don't follow him on Instagram. Because again, he played a boring Superman, and I didn't care what he was doing.
Yeah.
Again, don't feel too bad for him though. He's gonna be fine. I'm pulling for him in The Witcher. It's just kind of sad to see his what is it, time as Superman sputter out the way it's doing. But hey, maybe he'll do better than Routh and Keane and all the other guys there, where it's like, hey, maybe your career will actually survive the Superman curse.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope.
Fingers crossed, man, because that Superman curse thing, it's a legit killer,
Oh yeah.
both literally and figuratively. And hey, from one killer to another, we got our first photos this week from the brand new upcoming Joker origin movie starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, there were some fantastic pictures of just Joaquin
Oh,
Phoenix in a sweater.
what a guy! What a
It's
guy he is!
iconic. It was iconic. You
That
know.
iconic, that sweater jacket, that vest, they're going to be selling that everywhere, Matt. It's going to be the hot new fashion trend of 2019.
Yeah, and then you gotta get the middle aged creep costume sets for Halloween.
Yeah. That's what gets me too. I'm like, wait, so he was already creepy before he became the Joker? Isn't that a
Yeah.
little lazy?
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
not much of a transformation if he already looked like a creepy serial killer before he took an acid bath.
Yeah, did you see the little clip as well they had of like people filming it?
No, there was a little
Uh,
clip.
yeah, yeah, they were like filming the movie, and he like there's like some clown or something, like a
Yes.
person dressed in a clown costume, and he
Mm.
like takes the clown's nose and throws it, and then laughs. And I'm like, oh god, is it going to be one of those movies? He pulled a joke on. He's such a joker.
Yeah, he jokes the clowns. Seriously, no shit. Again, this was half because I was away and sleep deprived, and half because I didn't think it would actually do this. When I saw that picture of him and the clown, I legitimately thought that it was like a panel that someone took or like a screenshot someone took from that Jim Carrey kidding show that's going around.
Oh yeah.
I actually thought it was that. Like legitimately, like there's no joke to that. I actually thought that's what it was, and then to find out, oh, that's the Joker origin movie. Oh,
Oh
oh,
no.
okay, okay. Which again, another story we didn't talk about. Apparently, what is it? They were supposed to have their Thomas Wayne cast, but then he left already.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin like left, and they've actually just hired some new guy to play him.
New guy, yeah.
Yeah, some guy who was in Dark Knight Rises or something. But yeah, yeah, they're not very vague. They're very vague on like why Alec Baldwin left, and like everyone's putting it down to, well, they said they were going to make it like a Trump-esque Thomas Wayne, which is
Mm,
completely different to the Thomas Wayne in like
yeah,
literally every canon. Um,
right. Which again, where it's like Baldwin seems up for anything, and you couldn't keep him attached to this project.
yeah, exactly.
When Baldwin looks at it and goes, "I am too good for this," and then leaves.
Or as well, maybe like they didn't tell him that like what he was meant to play it as, and he thought, oh, I'm just going to be playing, like my 30 Rock character, like a businessman sort of thing, and then they like try
Yeah.
to get all political with it, and he's like, nah, let's not do that.
I mean, he's only been Donald Trump on TV forever. Maybe he's like, "No, I'm not going to do it again for this. I've already done it,"
Yeah, yeah.
which is pretty hilarious. But yes, this is one of only a dozen new Joker movies that will be coming your way very soon. So if this one is bad, don't worry. They'll have 12 other chances to
Yeah.
make one you like.
And none of them are related to each other.
Nope. Nope.
This one's
Nope.
set
Nope.
in the 80s, so Joker's already like a 50-year-old man in the 80s with no Batman around or anything.
I can't raise my eyebrows high enough. DC, hey, if we just keep throwing everything at the wall, eventually we'll get something you like.
Yeah.
Trial and error, man. Just got to put it in the lab. Got to figure it out. This time the darts came up to Joker origin movie 80s and Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, what's gonna happen next?
We don't know. We'll figure it out, huh? I hope one of these days it lands on Booster Gold, Blue Beetle buddy comedy time travel.
Nah, I won't do that. It'll be like Booster Gold, Harley Quinn, Buddy Cop, time travel.
Mm, yeah, not even a romantic comedy. What?
Yeah.
Period piece? What?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why does it keep coming? Musical? Well, okay. They made just about everything else. I think they should make a Justice League musical. You could have the Music Meister be the villain. Neil Patrick Harris will reprise his role, of course.
Of course. You have the fiddler in there and
Oh, you get all the musical villains. You get the fiddler. You get the Green Lantern villain, who's like a tuning fork guy.
oh yep, yep.
You get him in there. You get Vigilante on the good guys team because obviously he's a country music star turned vigilante superhero. So there you go. Just put them all together and it'll be great. It'll be great. Everyone's going to love it. Keeping up with the Batman theming that we've been going on with so far, it was announced that Nora Freeze has been cast for the upcoming CW DC superhero crossover event.
Yeah, this crossover just keeps getting better and better.
It keeps getting bigger and bigger too, and everything they've said so far has me excited. Obviously, with Nora Freeze being confirmed in here, this leads me to believe, oh, is Mr. Freeze going to be the bad guy in this one? Are they doing Heart of Ice? We know Batwoman and Gotham are going to play a major part in this. Wouldn't that be something if they brought Mr. Freeze in here too?
I think that'd be really awesome, especially given like the Mr. Freeze that's on Gotham at the moment is like really shit.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I think that'd be really cool if they brought him into like the CW universe and kind of claimed him and made him a bit better.
He seems like the perfect villain to claim too, because obviously we comic fans and we cartoon fans know that he's fucking amazing and
Mm,
super awesome when written right. But I'm sure the movies are like, nope, nope, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. We can't do that, can't touch that. There'll be too many ice puns. It'll be terrible.
yeah.
I bet Hollywood's afraid to touch him for that reason. So yeah, he would be perfect on television.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and yeah, you could flesh out his character more, and obviously with
Yeah.
Nora in there, you've got like that aspect before, and it seems like they might be doing that before introducing him fully.
Yeah.
Like maybe like she's fine and then she falls ill.
That could be a thing. That's what I wondered too. I'm like, is she just a background character in this? Are they showing that, well, yes, Nora Freeze is in here just to show you that this stuff exists within the CW universe?
Yeah, yeah,
Either way, I'm excited for it. Either way, I think that's super cool.
yeah. There's a lot, goddamn, lots happening in this crossover, and it's coming soon as well, like November.
Very. Yeah, all of this stuff is coming up very soon. They actually announced who the bad guy was going to be for Flash this season.
Yeah, who's that?
He looked kind of shit, but I think it's supposed to be Sequoia or Sakudia. Again, it's a really weird. He's a cult leader. He runs a speed cult, but more importantly than that, he directs his followers to go around and kill everyone that the Flash has ever saved.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he was struck by a lightning bolt too, and so like that's what gave him his power, but he can suck people's life force out of them.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
That does sound interesting. I think you could build a whole thing around that, and he's also not a speedster, which I like.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Like when you said he got struck by lightning, I'm like, oh god, here we go, another speedster. We had one season that wasn't a speedster, and it was kind of bit better, but back to the speedster. But glad they're
It,
not going back to speedster.
the Thinker season again started super strong. It ended
Mm,
weak, but it
yeah,
started incredibly strong,
it
and
did.
I hope they fix that problem here.
Yeah,
This villain is super easy to do too because again he doesn't really wear a costume, although they've given him like this weird polygonal mask. His followers though have this cool thing. They have like these knives that are shaped like lightning bolts.
okay.
So I'm like, all right, you could actually do that on a budget. Again, this is like I think this is like very early Jeff Johns Flash stuff. Again, they're pulling from.
Oh, that's cool. So it's like the same with Supergirl. Like Supergirl, this season is gonna seem to be fighting like a cult sort of
Mm,
following with Agent Liberty, and I still don't like what they did with Agent Liberty and made him basically like
U.S. agent,
no, he made him basically a MAGA supporter.
which U.S. agent basically is too
Yeah,
now.
yeah, basically, I don't really like what they did with him, and his costume looks kind of crappy as well.
That too. I had such a pitch for U.S. Agent I wanted to do. It's too high concept. They'd never do it. But I would want U.S. Agent to come back and be like, oh, I'm the more right-wing Captain America. But he starts hanging out with like a team of young heroes who are clearly supposed to represent like Milo, what's his face, and like
Yeah,
the new alt right, and like to have U.S. Agent be like, you guys are fucked.
yeah, I kind of realized like, no, you've kind of lost sight of everything. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you
like
doing?
like I'm too right wing for the rest of the superhero community, and I think you guys are fucking weirdos.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Again, it's too high concept. U.S. Agent doesn't sell, even though his costume is fucking great.
It is. It's a really cool costume.
Like his costume is so great, I'm ashamed that they never did anything with him.
Yeah, we
Although
haven't seen him for a while, have we?
no, I think they offhandedly mentioned him in the beginning of the new Captain America, saying that he was one of the hero slash villains that were actually given like a pardon by the government for fighting
Yeah,
Hydra.
yeah.
I'd like to see what Saladin Ahmed would do with him, or I'd
Mm.
like to see what Ta-Nehisi Coates could possibly do with him.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
It would be. But yeah, that's Nora Freeze for CW. Sign me up.
Yeah, it's sounding really cool.
It is sounding really cool. Next up, we have this was some unexpected news. I didn't even know about this till I got home and read about it. But Chelsea Cain's Vision series canceled 3 months before it was supposed to come out.
Yeah, three. I think there's only like 3 issues that are they even coming out?
No, it's completely canceled now. They
Oh
scrapped it
wow.
completely.
Oh wow, I thought like they're gonna release what they had and then that was it. Oh wow.
Sounds extreme, doesn't it? Of course, this
Yeah.
was the long-awaited follow-up to the Tom King 12-issue miniseries that everyone loved so much, and this one, by all account, they were working on this one for a very long time. They were working on this one for like 2 years to
Hmm.
try and figure out where it was going and to really, chart a course for Vision. But yeah, they canceled it, and they gave no reason for
Yeah.
canceling it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's probably rumor and just like hearsay, but apparently, like what she had in mind for Viv and Vision didn't match up with
Mhm.
what like Marvel wanted to do with the characters a little bit down the line,
Right.
or like put him in
Yeah,
a position that didn't match up.
that would make the most sense is
Yeah.
what it would be. And
Yeah.
Viv and Vision are in a really interesting place right now if you're
Hmm.
reading the Champions book, because Jim Zub, who writes that, has said that Vision is dying, that after the
Hmm.
Hulk like beat the shit out of him in what is it, Avengers No Surrender, he's
Yeah.
like, well, I've been put back together too many times, I'm dying now, but I have no problem with dying because I've embraced my humanity now, and part of being human is you don't live forever, you eventually die.
Yeah, and maybe Chelsea wanted to do that in her series with it ending with Vision's death. Maybe.
Right. I could see that. I could also see Marvel being like, no, 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 no. Jim Zub is faking them out. He's not actually gonna die.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't kill Vision. He's one of the movie Avengers now.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that as well. There's so many different like options that could happen and stuff.
Which is hilarious because Vision is one of those characters who, in the back of my mind, like, no one gives a shit about Vision until they do, when
Yeah.
Tom King comes around and writes a great story. And even then, you could argue he wasn't really writing Vision as he was shown. He was writing like a newer, his interpretation of Vision, who's just like, hey, AI theory and cool, what if robots have souls?
Yeah. Yeah.
That sort of thing is all it really was. It's a shame this one will never see the light of day. It got even weirder too because all the other comic book websites were reporting that she was told very firmly by Marvel, don't make a big deal about the cancellation.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
That's
which
strange.
to which again I'd be like, if you canceled my book, fuck you, I'm gonna make a big a deal about it as I want.
Yeah. I'll tell people.
Especially, hey, did I get paid for it yet? Then I'm especially gonna make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one's super weird. I guess we'll have to keep posted to the universe to see what they had planned for Vision instead.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. We'll find out sooner or later.
I guess the only big event they have going on right now is Infinity War, and Vision isn't even in that as far as I can see.
I haven't seen him yet. No.
No. Weird. Very, very weird. Maybe they want to give him the Soul Stone back or something to make it more like the movie.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. Maybe they want to. Yeah, maybe instead of Adam Warlock getting it, it'll go to Vision. Yeah, I
They'll
could
be
see
like, hey,
that.
let's make everything like the movie, and let's make things like how they were, and like, oh, look, now you have a gem, ain't that something? And now you don't have to die because you have a soul gem.
Yeah, I could see that.
That would be something very interesting. Another piece of news, Marvel actually announced a ton of new series coming out. It's not even New York yet. Most of these are minis, but one that just got announced today and dovetails quite nicely with the Black Panther commentary that Matt and I did. Please go listen if you haven't already. No, seriously, go listen to it. The numbers were soft. Go listen to it, or we might not do any more commentary. I'm threatening you to go listen to the Black Panther commentary, damn it. But yeah, if you listen to that commentary, you would know Matt and I said, man, it's strange that Marvel never thought to strike while the iron was hot with Killmonger and do something with him. Apparently, he is in the Black Panther comic currently that you and I just aren't reading. But yeah, Killmonger is going to be getting his own miniseries now, written by Bryan Edward Hill.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seeks to kind of be like it seems to be like a story told on two levels. Like it's going to be a retelling slash retconning of his origin to again get it a little bit more in line with the movie, to where he's just coming out of MIT after being kicked out of Wakanda and everything, and it's is what's he gonna do in his life? He's at a crossroads. Is he gonna be a supervillain? Is he gonna try and return to his homeland, etc., etc.?
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
It does. And apparently this is also going to be something of a period piece too, because Bryan Edward Hill says he's not contradicting what happened in the Gauntlet, the classic Black Panther story. Apparently he's building up to that,
Okay.
and that we might actually get to see it through his eyes, which is very interesting because that's a good story and still holds up.
That's cool. So kind of like a prequel to that sort of thing, or like the Road to the Gauntlet or something.
Yeah, a little bit like a road to that. And I think we're going to jump forward in his life too, because I know someone on Twitter told me he's actually in space with the Wakandans now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that apparently he has a high-ranking position there. And I'm like, what's Killmonger doing in space? Killmongering, probably. And why, yes, he does just look like Michael B. Jordan now.
Yeah, I figured he would.
Which, that's fine, because Killmonger didn't really have an interesting look. In fact, I very often mixed Killmonger up with a bunch of other, like, African-themed supervillains, like, Bushmaster and Bush everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's fine. That's fine. And again, I will fully admit that I've kind of been shitting on Brian Edward Hill's work recently, be it the Miles Morales retconning story that I hated with a passion,
Yeah, I remember that.
or the Outsiders arc in Detective Comics that I hated with a passion. But you know what? That's fine. I'm going to give him another chance. I think this looks great.
Yeah, that it does sound very, very cool.
Also, Juan Ferrara is doing the art on it. He was the guy who did Percy's Green Arrow when it started.
Oh, that's going to be a pickup for me.
So it's gonna look awesome too. They ain't throwing slouches at this, and I know people on Twitter were wondering why it's like, oh, I hope they're not just doing this now to try and cash in on the DVD and trying to cash in on it being on Netflix. No, apparently this is another one they've been working on for a very long time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. So go Team Killmonger. Let's see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Now, from that news to some more Marvel news here. Is Daredevil ending? Is Matt Murdock dying? Well, apparently they're announcing a new story called Daredevil The End, ? And it shows him in like a lush Elysian field, and Karen Page is standing there.
Oh.
I think the long and short is no. No, they're not. I think Charles Soule even mentioned before, get ready, my next arc is going to be the biggest one yet. I think they want to take it back to issue 1, but because Daredevil is one of the few comics that's still doing legacy numbering, they need to do something big to justify taking it back to a new number 1.
That's true. That's true. I've been reading like since this the start of this arc with his quote unquote brother.
Yeah, Phil Noto.
Yeah.
Doing the art on that one. Yeah, Daredevil's been great under Charles Soule. It's another very, very good addition to what has been an amazing legacy of a character. The only problem is that still very niche. Like people who love Daredevil love him a lot, but he's rarely ever the number 1 seller, even though he's always been a critical darling. I would think it's because the art hasn't been there in the last couple years for him, but now the art is there with Phil Noto drawing it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that maybe this will get more eyes on it, and maybe people will finally be like, hey, Joel, I went back and read this other Daredevil stuff. You're right. It's been great.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Interesting to bring up the Karen Page angle again. I think that's one of the few things that Soule hasn't touched on yet, and he's touched on just about everything from the character's history.
Okay.
And before people are like, oh, are they going to kill Daredevil off and replace him with his new sidekick Blind Spot? No, they sent Blind Spot away. But he got to join a cool-ass order of, like, Christian warrior monks, so that's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, again, like, I think, like, he was one of those, like, Marvel... not Marvel Fresh Start, but the one before that, he was like, hey, I'm your cool Asian sidekick. And it really worked for Daredevil because, he was trained by Stick, and now he was training this new kid and everything like that. But yeah, they actually gave him an end to his story and sent him on his way.
Oh, that's okay.
I like that. I'm shocked he never joined the Champions.
Yeah, you would think that maybe they forgot about him.
Maybe they forgot about him. Maybe Jim Zum's like, motherfucker, I have 8 characters I'm writing here already. Stop using my book as the island of misfit toys.
Yeah, stop throwing me new characters to write.
Yeah, god damn it. I already invented one of my own. I got to talk to him about that at the con, too, about Snowguard, the brand new Canadian hero he invented. I'm like, hey, man, I actually spent some time on a Kree reserve, so the fact that you created a Canadian Kree superhero was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't mention to him, although someone talked to me later when I left, where it's like, hey, in Justice League United, didn't they create a character called Equinox who was also Canadian and also had animal powers and had basically the same color scheme? And isn't Jeff Lemire Canadian too? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Don't mention that to him. But yeah, everyone, no one remembers Equinox. Probably because her name was hard to say.
Probably.
Yeah. But from the world of Daredevil, we go to another hero in a tight-fitting leather bodysuit with billy clubs. He's not dying literally, but he's maybe dying figuratively to me for a little bit. Scott Lobdell is going to be helming a new, darker, grittier Nightwing series.
It's all what you've always wanted, Joel.
It's like how when you write in your dream journal, it's like they had it but they put it in a mirror, so it's the opposite of it. This is really sad for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want a darker, grittier Nightwing series. You just got Nightwing back to how he's supposed to be. Why are you upsetting the apple cart? Two, really, Benjamin Percy's run is done that quickly? He even said, like, yeah, I had more stories to tell, but they kicked me off for this.
Oh, jeez.
Especially because the first arc Benjamin Percy's been writing, as much as I love the guy's work, hasn't been great. It's a lot of undeserved potential, but the idea here seeks to be that in like Batman number 55, which I think comes out fairly soon, Bane will once again reveal himself to be the true villain of the Tom King story arc. He broke up Batman's wedding, let us not forget.
Oh, yeah. I actually completely forgot about that. I completely fucking forgot about that.
Of course you forgot it, because it's fucking stupid.
It came out of fucking nowhere.
It's the dumbest thing. He just has a throne made of skulls in the bottom of Arkham, and what?
Yeah, and he's controlling all the villains, including Flashpoint Batman.
And Skeets. The fuck?
Oh, fuck that book.
Yeah, but apparently, he's going to hire KG Beast, who will be the villain in the next Tom King Batman arc, to kill Batman. Nightwing will get in the way, get shot in the head, not die, but will develop amnesia, and because of that, forget to be a hero, while guys like Scarecrow and other villains try and manipulate him into becoming a villain.
Oh my god, that is like the most New 52 thing I've ever fucking heard.
Boy, does it ever. And also, it's like, Scott Lobdell, why must you make Nightwing darker and grittier? Didn't you already make Red Hood darker and grittier, that he doesn't have a team, and he has a crowbar and a samurai sword, and his book is just called Red Hood Outlaw
He's making his way through the DC universe. First it was Superman over at New 52, then the Red Hood. Now he's on Nightwing. Who's next?
Yep.
Is Green Arrow next?
Oh, you forgot to. He also ruined Teen Titans for many years as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Again, it's like, god damn it, guys. Didn't you have to spend so much time fixing the stink that he left on all these characters?
Yeah.
Didn't shit get really good once you fixed what he broke?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like, once he left, everything started becoming good. I don't know what it was, but it just, after he left,
And again, everyone keeps telling me, oh no, his Red Hood and the Outlaws book from DC Rebirth is actually really good. Is it good, or was it just good compared to what he was writing previously?
Yeah, exactly. And also like, what in the Red Hood, like, do you have to compare it to?
Exactly. He's written the character longer than anyone else now. He has a weird stranglehold on it and won't let anyone else write anything.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. It's because he's in good with DiDio and Bob Harris. He's in their little boys club there.
And no one else wants to write fucking Red Hood.
And no one else apparently wants to write Red Hood. James Tynion got to write him for a minute, but apparently no. Red Hood fans demanded more Lobdell. They needed it. He's the true architect on this series, the perfect culmination of creator and series. All I can think about this is like, okay, so I get to drop Nightwing now, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, basically.
Now, on the upside, apparently Batgirl has been great, from what I understand. There's 2 issues under the new writer, Marguerite, it's very unpronounceable, her name, Strode. But yeah, apparently, Batgirl is going back to more like the Gail Simone era. They even reuse some of her villains from that run.
That's cool.
And I'm like, I like all of that. I know some people have mentioned too, where it's like, well, doesn't that mean Batgirl's getting grittier too, Joel? Why aren't you complaining about Batgirl getting grittier? I'm like, well, because Batgirl was too far in the other direction. She was too bright and too sunny. A little darkness is okay. Which, again, I suppose I understand, too, what they're saying, where it's like, oh, so now none of the Batman books are suitable for children, is what you're saying. No, none of them.
No.
No, they're also not new reader friendly now. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Even like to like readers like us, they're not reader friendly either, especially Batman.
No. You know what this feels like too? It's like, ooh, Jeff Johns is out of the way now. He doesn't have any power. Dan DiDio steps in time to ruin Dick Grayson's life again.
Yeah, and fuck Tim Drake.
Did I mention I hate him? Oh man, I haven't finished reading the new Deathstroke this week, but I did scan through it a little bit. Apparently, they seek to imply, if I scanned this correctly, that Tim Drake might actually have been involved in the whole Deathstroke, Damian's real father thing.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah, God damn it, Christopher Priest, not you too. You can't kick the character when he doesn't have a book and isn't around.
I gave up on that arc because it was just getting so tedious.
It really fucking was. It's the last issue, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't actually care anymore. The next arc is Deathstroke and Arkham, which is the arc that was supposed to come out anyway, so I hope that's better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, this whole Batman versus Deathstroke arc should have just been 2 issues.
It should have been. Or it should have been a miniseries unto itself.
Yeah.
Which I think it was supposed to be, actually.
Oh, okay.
Why they moved it up is beyond me. But again, back to the ruining of Nightwing. Apparently the only reason they're doing this too, I cannot confirm, but the hottest goss about it is that they're doing it to help coincide with the Teen Titans show.
Okay, that makes sense.
To make him darker, grittier, and fuck Batman.
Yeah, and fuck Batman.
But by which I mean he says fuck Batman, not by which I mean he actually fucks Batman.
Hey, you never know. You know, this show might be like, oh yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
Haven't seen anything like this. Also, it is Scott Lobdell writing this, and he does have amnesia, so I mean, they could just go anywhere with it.
Yeah. Do you see that the DC app actually launched?
In the States for Americans, but not for us.
Yeah, but apparently it's not really worth it.
Well, again, you know, I've been hearing mixed things about it from people, some of whom actually got to use it early, but not Canada boy over here.
Yeah, I can't use it either.
There you go. Apparently, Didio was at Fan Expo like last month or like early this month. I forget when it actually was, but apparently people were yelling at him, "When are we gonna get our DC Universe at?" He's like, "It's coming. We're gonna have betas in Canada soon. I promise. And I'm like, do you mean that, or do you just want to actually make it back to your car?
Yeah.
Oh, these Canadians, they didn't tar and feather me. They syruped and poutined me. It was both sticky and hot at the same time.
But it was delicious.
But it was so delicious. Even when Canadians are trying to be mean, they end up being nice. But yeah, that's Nightwing. Boo.
Yeah, boo earns.
That's fine. I'll pick up more Marvel books. Marvel's been killing it recently.
They have been.
They really have been. In fact, the numbers came in today, actually, but apparently Marvel books in general in the Marvel Fresh Start era saw like a 22% increase.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they saw a very sizable increase. I'm like, good on them. They haven't dropped the ball yet.
That's cool. Hey, if you do want to pick up another DC book, just read Hawkman. Hawkman's awesome.
Yeah, you've been shelling out for Hawkman, saying it's good. That's good. I might give that one a look. I know Hawkman's been getting a lot of ad space in the DC comics too. Like they really want people to start reading Hawkman.
Oh yeah, it's pretty awesome. Next issue, he's teaming up with Ray Palmer in the Microverse.
Ooh, cool. That sounds fun. Speaking of things that are going to be fun, Saladin Ahmed fully announced this week he will be helming the brand new Miles Morales Spider-Man book coming out in December, just in time for the Edge of Spider-Verse movie.
Oh yeah, Miles Morales has got to get some love and actual character development and not just stagnate.
It's about damn time, and Ahmed has shown, give him anything and he will knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah, he'll have fun with it and make it really compelling reads.
In fact, like, the dude seems to be like the fixer at Marvel right now. It's like, geez, you know, Saladin, these Inhumans, no one's really like them. Can you make the greatest Inhuman story of the last decade? I sure can.
Yeah, and then it's like him and Donny Cates. They're both they're divvying up like all of the Marvel universe. It's like, okay, you take these guys, I'll take these guys. We'll do like really good stories with them.
What needs fixing? Where again, it's like, hey, Saladin, can you make the Exiles relevant again? I sure can.
Yeah, and I'll make them really fun, where each book is a new adventure.
Yep. Hey, Saladin Ahmed, can you fix the fractal spreadsheet nightmare that is Miles Morales right now that we have painted ourselves into a corner to because of all the ego that's been going on and the Spider-Man line of books? Yep.
Yeah, I can do that.
Also, can you do it in time for the new movie because we really want him to be good again? Yep. I didn't get to read Champions this week, but apparently it was a Miles Morales-centric story. Apparently, like, a school shooting takes place at his school.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, pretty hardcore. I got to talk to Zub while that's going on, and he was really proud of the story. I'm like, don't tell me yet. It's on my pad. I haven't read it yet. I know you're the creator and you work hard on this, but don't tell me. Apparently, he said he actually has a lot planned for Champions moving into the future for all the characters. He says he's going to do something a couple arcs from now that everyone who loves him might hate him later.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, well, you already took away Sam Nova's powers, which, I got to talk to him about that. I'm like, how did you decide to take away Nova's powers? And he's like, well, mainly it was from fans telling me, why don't you do more with Nova? Why don't you do more with Cosmic? Why doesn't Sam have a book? And it's like, okay, you want me to do something with Nova? Boom, I took his powers away.
What now?
Yeah, what now? It's like, hey, watch what you say around me, basically. If you keep asking me to write a hero, I might just take their powers away. I'm like, aren't you interested now? Don't you want to keep picking up Champions to see if I ever give him his powers back? But yeah, I can't wait for Saladin Ahmed on Miles. I loved Miles so much in the Ultimate Universe. It was one of the first books I think all of us really started reading and really thinking about critically and, being like, man, this feels so good and it feels so right. And I really do think Ahmed is one of those writers that he can hammer out a place for Miles in the Marvel Universe that makes sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm very intrigued to see what he's going to do. Whether he's going to go like the Black Bolt route with it and make it really dramatic and in a way kind of depressing a little bit, or like the Exiles way where it's like wacky adventures and cosmic hijinks and stuff like that. And
yeah, do a little both. I think the thing he needs to do most of all, and I'm sure it's something he will do right away, what matters in Miles' life now? Does he remember the Ultimate Universe? Does he not remember the Ultimate Universe?
Yeah, that's like another really cool thing you could do, like play with that. Like he remembers that universe and he kind of misses it, but he can't obviously go back there, and he's kind of and it's kind of weighing on him that he can't or anything.
He's a little homesick. He's a little lovelorn. That I'd be fine with. I think that's a great direction for him. Again, because it's like if he started talking about the Ultimate Universe with all these other people, they'd think he was crazy.
Yeah.
But, maybe he talks to someone like Mr. Fantastic, and Mr. Fantastic is like, oh, yeah, I remember the Secret Wars, too.
Yeah. That'd be really cool.
Also, too, hey, who's a good villain for Miles to fight? The Master, the evil Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe who made it.
Yeah, what's his deal? Like, what's he been up to recently?
Nothing. Sweet fuck all. Yet another character from the Ultimate Universe they just buried.
Yeah, I think it was in, like, the Ultimates book, the Ultimates 2 book or whatever it was called. And then, I think he disappeared or something. I'm surprised he's not come back. I imagine he's going to be, like, a Fantastic Four villain.
He needs to be a Fantastic Four villain. He needs to show up in this Miles book. And also, hard to think the only other Ultimate character who made it was Jimmy Hudson, the second Ultimate Wolverine.
Yeah.
Does Jimmy Hudson remember the Ultimate Universe? Does he even care?
I don't think. I have no idea what's going on with him. I know the I think the Blue and Gold X-Men books are ending. So
they are.
Yeah.
They're ending after Extermination to make way for Uncanny and Vanilla X-Men.
Yeah, and he won't be on that because normal Wolverine's back, and so
normal Wolverine's back. Which again was why he needs to show up in this Miles book, and they need to commiserate and talk about remembering the Ultimate Universe. Because I think that would be really fun. Speaking of books that should be really fun, Kyle Higgins blew everyone away with his Power Rangers book, made himself a superstar overnight, as I knew he could be. I have been pulling for this man his entire career. In fact, I was his last interview before leaving DC the first time. It's been announced he's heading over to Marvel, and he's writing a Winter Soldier miniseries.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's going to be really good. Yet another character who kind of fell by the wayside, Bucky. He was really important in Secret Empire, and then he just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And again, too, I'm sure this is one of those series where it's like, no, it's starting as a mini-series, and when people like it, it'll go to series.
Yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen.
The pitch sounds pretty cool, too. It's Bucky Barnes traveling America, trying to find people like him to help.
Yeah, it sounded really cool. I'm really intrigued by this as well. Like will it pick up like threads that are left over from like obviously his time with Frank Castle and the stuff from the Tales of Suspense with where he kind of knows that Black Widow was alive but hasn't told Hawkeye and
There's lots of places they could go for this. I'm sure Kyle Higgins will go there. Man, I gotta finish reading Shattered Grid. It's something I know I'm going to love, and I've left for way too long.
I'm considering, since I'm going to a con, I'm going to keep an eye out for it, but I'm going to like maybe buy like all his Power Rangers books, like in like their trades.
It's done now, so you can. And again,
Yeah.
it's a thick stack. Like, he wrote that story for like a year.
Yeah.
He's real good at that too. He did that with his Batman Beyond digital series too. It's like, nah, give me a year, man. I will write a year's worth of story.
Yeah.
He's another fun guy to talk to, Kyle Higgins. I didn't get to talk to him at the con in Philadelphia. He was there, but he kept getting pulled away because he was announcing this.
No.
And obviously, I didn't get to hear it announced. I read it back at the hotel. I'm like, oh, Kyle Higgins, that's what he was doing today.
Oh, that was cool. I saw him today.
The other book they announced at Philadelphia, Steve Orlando will be doing a 12-issue Martian Manhunter series as well.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter back as a detective on Earth series. That's so cool.
With apparently flashbacks too to his time as a space cop on Mars.
Yeah, they seem to like doing it spinning out of Justice League, where like there might be something a bit more to Martian Manhunter than just being a Martian from Mars.
Yeah, they seek to imply in the little solicitation I read that maybe he was a dirty space cop.
Yeah, so that's gonna be really cool.
I'm like, that's interesting. That also kind of puts into perspective what Bendis was writing with Martian Manhunter, where it's like, hey, Clark, did you ever think about maybe taking over the world?
Yeah, maybe it kind of like spins into that. And again, like in Justice League, the when they were fighting the things in the totality, they kept going after him because he seemed important for something. Like,
yeah,
he did something, or maybe he was like sprinkling the crack on the white Martians. And
yeah, that's the thing where it's like, they're just dirty white Martians. It's fine.
yeah, I'll plant the gun.
Yeah, I know they were bad. I'm the law. Just basically make him the dude from Training Day. King Kong ain't got shit on John Jones. You know what? I'm actually fine with giving Martian Manhunter a darker edge, because in the broadest strokes of his story, oh, I'm the last of my race. I'm so sad for the death of my planet, and I can never truly fit in. He's just kind of a less interesting Superman in the broadest strokes.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can't like make him like an actual hero because then he'd just be like, oh, I'm Green Superman. He has all the same kind of powers as him, but yeah, you got to give him like a little something that changes that origin from him being the last member of the race to like something a bit darker than that.
Which they tried before, remember in DCU, where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Martian super weapon that was sent in to, invade Earth, they live style, but oh, I've turned against my Martian masters and now I'm fighting them and everything. So they've tried to give him a harder edge, but they're trying again now.
Yeah, with something that actually sounds like it probably will stick.
Yeah. I like when they retconned him again, when Scott Snyder retconned him. It's like, hey, John, weren't you like a Martian super? No, that was bullshit. I was just lying to myself for a whole series.
Yeah, I've just been on Thanagar while all this shit's been going down. Been in the library.
Yeah, that was a dream. I was just smoking Martian crack. Don't even listen to that. I was so crazy. But yeah, good on Steve Orlando too. I really like him and I really enjoy his work.
Yeah, his last couple of books at DC have been really great.
Mm-hmm. This one also has a good art team. I can't remember who this is, but it's a style you wouldn't expect for a story that's trying to have a harder, darker edge. It's like very light and sunny.
Yeah, it's the guy who did the I think he did like the Batman Shadow series.
Yes, I want to say so.
Yeah, it's very kind of cartoonish.
Yeah. Which makes me want to read it even more. I like books that contrast serious subject matter with more cartoony visuals.
Yeah.
Another new series they got coming out, another new mini-series, and this one came right out of freaking nowhere. New Freedom Fighters from Robert Venditti.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Freedom Fighters as in Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters, although I don't think Uncle Sam is going to be a member of this team. They seem to imply Uncle Sam is dead at this point.
Yeah, and like it's people picking up stuff in his memory. I did see a really cool design for the plastic SS man.
Yeah, so here's the thing. So the deal with the Freedom Fighters is they were a group from World War II, obviously, who fought Nazis in kind of like an alternate reality war that never ended. Mm-hmm. And here we're picking up with the Freedom Fighters in the year 2018, where the world is ruled by Nazis.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. It kind of like makes me think it's like a continuation of that Multiversity book, Mastermen.
Yeah, which that was really solid, and I'm like, man, I'd happily read another book in this universe. That seeks to be what they're doing with it, man. I actually loved Uncle Sam in that series where he's all old and disheveled and fucked up because patriotism's at an all-time low. It's dying, but I just need a little patriotism and I can Hulk up again.
Yeah, Hulk up and fight Nazi Superman.
I love the idea of Uncle Sam that like lack of patriotism actually hurts him and makes him sick. Like if you burned a flag in front of him, he'd be like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
that's his kryptonite.
But if you like ate a hot dog and like hummed a couple bars of the Star Spangled Banner, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm strong again." And like Uncle Sam, he can like grow 10 feet tall if there's enough patriotism. Like if you just have enough of it, he gets stronger and stronger. Like he could be unto a god if there was only enough
Yeah,
patriotism
that's why he has like NASCAR playing on the TV all the time. That
all the
gives him
time.
the strength.
Quick, quick, turn up that Toby Keith album as loud as it will go. Then Uncle Sam can punch monitors. I just like that.
Yeah.
God, there's an amazing bit I loved too. It was in a Suicide Squad story of all things. What is it? They were trying to recruit El Diablo for a new Task Force Y, where the idea is they'd be fighting gang crime in LA with a bunch of reformed gang members turned like, soldiers for the government.
Yeah.
And Diablo's like, I don't want to do this. This is stupid. I'm not going to listen to any suit. Oh, well, we knew you wouldn't listen to a suit. That's why we got Uncle Sam to come and talk to you. Chacho, I got to take Lady Liberty's over a pork barrel, Chacho. Will you do it for America and the hot dogs and the apple pies? Will you do that, son? And Chacho's like, I guess I can't say no. The literal body of America came and told me to do this thing. But yeah, so yeah, good on that. This is a surprise project for Robert Venditti because wasn't he like doing Green Lantern and a bunch of other stuff?
He just finished up Green Lantern. He's doing Hawkman at the moment.
This is very interesting. Where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, Robert, what do you want to write now? I want to write Freedom Fighters. Okay, you haven't done wrong by us so far.
He's earned it, man. He's got these. He's like tenure. He's I did Green Lantern for an X number of years, all these issues and everything, and they're like, okay, what do you want? I'll have Hawkman and the Freedom Fighters, because no one wants them.
It's true. It's like, who's gonna fight me on these? No one. I think this is really good to do a modern day freedom fighter story too, because this is a way for DC to get political in a book, but to do it kind of like in a tongue-in-cheek sort of way.
Yeah, do it in kind of a way that, yeah, it's not like slapping you in the face with it, and yeah.
And also too, where it's like, why are the freedom fighters fighting Nazis? Because they always fought Nazis. That's literally their thing.
That's their Earth. Their Earth. The Nazis like a thing.
That's their thing, where it's like even the most biggest piss baby online couldn't complain about it, although I'm sure they will.
They will.
Because that's why they're piss babies. They complain about everything. But hey, from that story to another feel-good story, The Thing and Alicia Masters are finally going to be tying the knot in Fantastic Four issue number 5.
Yeah, that's really soon, and also, yay, finally a wedding that's actually gonna like have a payoff.
Yeah, and one that they've actually been building up to and is actually kind of worth it and everything. Again, we're going to spend the latter half of the show where we would normally talk about what we read this week, talking about Iron Fist Season 2, because I finally finished it. But man, how good was Fantastic Four issue number 2 this week?
They weren't lying at the end of the last issue. It said, yeah, no, Fantastic Four are going to be back next issue. And boy, were they... It was cool. They said the Fantastic Four. They didn't specify like which members of the Fantastic Four. They're like, oh, we'll just bring every member.
Everyone who's ever been a member ever, even some obscure ones where it's like, were they a member? Oh yeah, for a little bit they were.
Yeah.
I really like the new villain they created there, Griever, the soul of entropy, the queen of the heat death of the universe.
Yes, the one who will be there to grieve for your deaths when the universe implodes.
When it's all but oblivion. I'm like, ooh, that's really smart, because the Richards family has been going around creating new universes and sowing it with so much life. Their actions are now having reactions in the form of this lady.
Yeah, they basically created her.
Yeah, they brought it on themselves, and I like to. Some people were mad where it's like, oh, why did they kill Molecule Man? Because Molecule Man was too powerful. That's why.
Yeah.
Owen Reese literally could not stick around any longer after Secret Wars. At least he got to go out like a hero. And again, to borrow a wrestling term, he needed to go down in a squash match against Griever so they could really help her get over with the audience. So when they have the big battle royale match in the next issue, it's believable that she could win.
Yeah, and also in doing that as well, they also kind of take away the card that is Franklin Richards and his nigh godlike powers. So now they can't just be like, Oh, we'll just create another universe. It'll be all good.
Exactly. They needed to do that. Those
Yeah.
were avenues they needed to close up. And they're sure to say, oh, no, no, Franklin, you're still powerful. In fact, you're probably one of the most powerful beings in the entire universe. You just can't create life anymore on the scale like you did.
Yeah, yeah. You're whole powerful, but you're not, nigh God, Jack Kirby up there in space God level.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I like to. The kids finally got their names this issue. He's Powerhouse Franklin Richards, and Valeria Richards is Brainstorm.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which are fittingly Kirby-esque names. I feel like if he was writing
Yeah.
them back then, those were the names he would give them.
Yeah, yeah, totally would.
They feel right at home with Mr. Fantastic and the Human Torch. I know some people are like, oh, those names are silly. And I'm like, yeah, all of Fantastic Four is a little silly.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Galactus, the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, Doctor Doom.
Yeah, Doctor Doom. I think, Brainstorm and Powerhouse, they fit very good in there. But yeah, that issue kicks ass. And if you were worried about, how Dan Slott wrote Johnny Storm as kind of a petulant child, don't worry, because he absolutely nails the married dialogue between Sue and Reed.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like that, I'm like, that's pitch perfect. I see why he wanted to do the book, just so he could write that stuff.
Yeah.
That was really, really solid. What else do we got here? Oh, one last news story here. Again, we were talking about brand new X titles and everything. Well, Ed Brisson, who's currently writing Extermination and has been writing basically all the X-Men books now, he's going to be penning a brand new X-Force series with old and new members alike.
And I bet it spins out of Extermination.
Boy, does it ever. In fact, they're being led by young Cable.
Exactly. I wonder how I knew that.
Yeah, which begs the fucking question, okay, I guess that spoils the end of Extermination for us. I guess they work it out with young Cable.
Or maybe this is another young Cable that they got that is good and didn't want to come back and kill people.
It's funny, I was trying to think to myself, has young Cable really done anything so evil yet? He only kidnapped the X-Men. He cut Angel's wings off, but again, he's trying to fix history, and he didn't have them before, so he's trying to send them home. Yeah, he killed his older self, but he did that in self-defense, and Cable would have killed him, only he didn't know he was the younger him, so it's a good thing old Cable didn't kill young Cable,
Yeah.
because if he did, he would have wiped himself from history. And is it really murder, or is it more like future suicide?
Yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't really done anything evil as of yet.
No, he clearly has reasons for what he's doing. The only person who's been murdered so far was Bloodstorm, and Ahab did that.
Yeah, and Ahab's not even related to what's going on with Cable.
No, apparently that's just a completely different thing. He just picked an interesting time to show up and be a bad guy again. But yeah, so that's interesting. Warpath is on the team, which makes me sad because Warpath is on the Astonishing X-Men book right now. I'm like, oh, he's going to leave. I'm really liking Proudstar on that one.
I was gonna say Warpath, the character no one really cares for. He's the Slipknot of the X-Men.
Which is why he's actually perfect for Astonishing X-Men, because it's built on kind of joke characters that no one cares about, but Dazzler.
Probably helps as well that isn't he in Gifted as well, the TV show?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so he's getting a bit of exposure.
And he's a really cool character on that show, so I see why he's set for a promotion. And also, he was on a bunch of the original X-Force teams, so they're trying to have a little old and a little new. Deathlock is going to be on the team. That's fun.
That's cool.
Deathlock hasn't done anything forever. I always like it when Deathlock shows up. Shatterstar is on the team, and it's the new Tim Seeley costume Shatterstar.
Cool.
Boom Boom is going to be on. I'm like, holy shit, someone remembered Boom Boom. I like Boom Boom because her name is Boom Boom, and she makes little bombs. I really liked her on X-Men Evolution. She got a bunch of stories written about her, way more than you would think for a lower tier X-Men.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, here's an X-Force book I might actually pick up. I feel bad because when Ed Brisson, who was also Canadian, started writing comics like that Bullseye one-shot, I'm like, man, this is bullshit. I don't want to keep reading this. Oh, he actually got really good. Maybe he was always good and I just read a bad book from him.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so yeah, that's all the news for this week, everyone. A ton of stuff happened, if you couldn't tell.
Well, lots of stuff.
Yeah, we talked for over an hour, and that was just the news.
Yeah, there'll probably be more this coming week because of, Comic-Cons and Captain Marvel trailers and stuff like that.
I know for a fact many of the writers I talk to, because I always ask the same question, hey, what are you working on? and they always tell me what they're working on, their independent books that are coming out. Then they all ended with, oh, and other stuff, but I can't tell you till after New York. Actually, a beautiful piece of information I got when talking to David F. Walker. I asked him basically, hey, what's the holdup with this milestone universe that DC keeps saying they're going to do every couple years?
Yeah.
He was very vague, but he gave me probably the best piece of information out of anyone. He said, hey, the reason it's being held up, it's not a money issue. It's not a rights issue. It's an ego issue.
Ooh, okay.
Again, he named no names, although I can probably guess who it is. Although the person in general, David Walker, actually spoke very highly of, which is interesting because I haven't heard anyone speak highly of this person. So it's fun to actually hear someone who knew him and be like, hey, you know, if you knew him like how I knew him,
yeah,
that would have been different. I was also sure to mention Aaron Mcgruder and Boondocks, and apparently Aaron Mcgruder is not very liked amongst that group.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of makes sense. I'm like, oh yeah, because what was the last thing Aaron Mcgruder did? Black Jesus, and that was it.
Yeah.
And even then, Black Jesus felt more like a Pat Roach show. Literally, they were doing the Trailer Park Boys formula because that's what Roach did before.
Yeah.
I think people don't know that Black Jesus is half Boondocks guy and half Trailer Park Boys guy. Which is a weird combo.
It is. It is.
Yeah. But yeah, with that out of the way, we can finally hop into talking about Iron Fist Season 2. If you haven't seen the show, be sure to save this and come back to it because, again, we're going to be spoiling all over the place.
Oh, are we ever?
Yeah, now, I asked Matt before we started. You finished it before me, and you've had more time to think about it. Has your opinion at all changed in that time?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to preface that by saying it's still better than Season 1.
Yes, it is. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to say some very harsh things about it. It is better than Season 1. Season 1 was shit.
Yeah.
It is greatly improved, but I would say it has not improved enough. It is improved to the point where it went from being bad to just being kind of boring.
It's improved in ways that it shouldn't have.
Yes.
Like, it didn't improve the things that needed to.
Yes, very true. That's an excellent way to put it, Matt. That's a very excellent way to put it. I guess let's start at the beginning. This is post-Defenders. Danny Rand is trying to make good on his promise to Matt Murdock to, you know, defend the city in his stead because Daredevil obviously went missing at the end of Defenders. Mm-hmm. Only he does it in the weirdest way. He's like, okay, Matt, I will defend the city. By which I mean I will only defend these 2 blocks in Chinatown.
Yeah, I'll only defend Chinatown where lots of crime seems to happen. It's the hub of all crime in New York. I'm not going to protect Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen can go fuck itself.
Which, again, I feel like if Matt could talk to Danny, be like, Danny, when I said defend the city in my stead, I meant all of it. I meant, you know, maybe checking on my city in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, maybe this is the reason why the Kingpin's back. It's like, well, yeah, Danny Rand's only over in Chinatown. We can just take back Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you watched Luke Cage, even though you showed up there, there's a lot of crime happening in Brooklyn and Harlem, and there was a big gang war that just finished up over there between Jamaicans and the Stokes family.
And something big happened with Luke Cage that's, like, glossed over.
Yeah. Hey, remember how your friend kind of called himself the new kingpin of crime in Harlem, and even Misty at the end of the show said, oh, I don't like what Luke has become.
Yeah, again, I think when we talked about Luke Cage, we were like, oh, I hope there's an episode in Iron Fist where they, like, talk with Luke and, like, discuss what's going on. That never fucking happened.
Wouldn't that be? No, we get lots of Misty. We get a lot of Misty, and I always appreciate Misty showing up, even though I really feel that she's here so they can try and backdoor a Daughter of the Dragon show.
Oh, that's totally what was happening. Especially, like, once she started getting involved, it just became, like, Misty and... Colleen, you know, hour.
Which is fine. They have the best episode where they're running down leads, and I'm not gonna lie, they have the best fight scene in the show too, when they fight 3 tattoo artists who are trying to stab them with tattoo needles.
Yeah, that was a really good fight.
That was really, really great. And it's like, hey, fans, would you watch a 10 episode of this? And I'm like, yeah, I would. None of this has anything to do with Iron Fist.
Yeah, which is, that's like the theme of the show. None of this has anything to do with Iron Fist. And really, none of it does, because it's mainly like that story, and then like what the hell is happening with Ward? Oh, he's a
Yep.
recovering drunk
Yep.
who's fucked.
Who's got daddy issues and everything. Him and Joy have a ton of daddy issues that inform their decisions in this show. And all I kept yelling at the screen is, I don't care about your fucking daddy. He was a shitty character anyway. Stop reminding me of season one. Also, too, I will say this, and you'll have to agree. I have never seen a hero in any of these Netflix shows be as passive as Danny is. They keep inventing new reasons why Danny can't go out and solve problems. Like
Yeah,
again, oh no, I had my power stolen. Don't worry, Colleen and Misty will figure this one out.
yeah,
Oh no,
he forgot all his martial arts once his power got taken.
there are so many times, like again, Colleen and Misty solve every problem in this show. Danny just shows up to fight occasionally.
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah. Oh no, my leg is broken. I can't go out and fight now. You guys will have to handle all of this for me.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. Oh no, I lost my powers to Davos, but I don't really care until the last episode, and even then I don't care because I try and get out of having the powers.
Even that whole Davis thing really frustrated the shit out of me because so like his whole deal
Same.
is like, I feel betrayed because like the kid I grew up with got the power I didn't when I
Mhm.
believed in it a bit more. Okay, I've got the power back now. I had to steal it back from him. I'm gonna go back to Kunlun and protect what's left of it or rebuild it. No, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna stay here and teach random like strangers kung fu, even though I hated that about
Danny, yeah.
Danny, and I'm gonna be a big hypocrite.
Coming off the back of Bushmaster, who was such an amazing villain, was such a great motivation and such a great like hemisphere of supporting characters, Davos might be the worst villain they've done, and it's through no fault of his own. The actor is fine, his action scenes are fine. What's wrong with him is his motivation keeps changing every episode.
Yeah, every episode it's something different. Like I'm gonna go back protect Kunlun or rebuild Kunlun. Oh no, I'm gonna take the Iron Fist. Now
Yeah,
I'm gonna rule. I'm gonna become the Iron Fist of New York.
it's it's so stupid because again it's like you said, oh, Danny was a stranger and an outsider, he doesn't deserve the power, he can't defeat the hand. He defeated the hand twice. Davos, were you not paying attention? The Iron Fist has no job anymore. Oh well, I'm mad about him because he left Kunlun and everything. Yeah, you left Kunlun too, dude.
Yeah,
you
you could have just stayed there and protected it.
Yeah, you're here. I know you're a bad guy and you're supposed to be a hypocrite. Then he's like, "Oh, I hate this city. It sucks compared to Kunlun. Everything's bad and corrupted. Oh, I'll fight crime and be a better superhero than Danny is for no reason." Then, oh, I'm gonna teach other people kung fu, even though I was being like a weird supremacist and thinking everyone was below me.
Yeah,
Why are you teaching them martial arts, dude? So they can one day challenge you to become the Iron Fist? You make no sense. I know they needed mooks. They needed henchmen. And
yeah,
again, Danny doesn't even fight the henchmen. Colleen fights the henchmen because it's all part of her story of trying to redeem these street kids.
yeah.
That's it. Another thing I'll say, the fight scenes this season weren't as creative as season one.
They weren't as creative, but they were like filmed better, and they were
Mhm.
a little bit more choreographed, a bit better. But they didn't have that creative flair.
No, season one, even though the action wasn't that great, you had Danny fights a poison spider lady, Danny fights a drunken boxer, Danny fights a whatever, and that was cool. Literally, all the fights here are Iron Fist fights regular dudes, Iron Fist fights regular dudes.
Yeah, Iron Fist punches the guy, and then the fight doesn't happen because they all saw
Yeah.
him punch the guy and ran off. And yeah, even like his one episode in Luke Cage was really good.
Yeah, that was wonderful. That was great. And again, it made sense because he was coming up against people who could actually challenge him. The thing that had me screaming the whole time, and they kind of touched on it in the final episode, but my thing is like, when Davros is going around killing all the triads in Chinatown, I'm like, shoot him. Shoot him in the head. Get a sniper
Yeah,
and shoot him in the
he's
head.
not bulletproof.
He's not bulletproof. In fact, Danny's not even bulletproof. He gets a bad leg injury and he's out for a good chunk of the episode. Just because you've got good punches doesn't mean you can't be shot. In fact, again, another reason Davros annoys me, or Davos, I keep calling him Davros because I keep thinking of the dude from Game of Thrones. He is defeated twice the exact same way when he gets drugged.
Yeah. Once by Typhoid Mary, and then again by Danny. The exact same way. He fell for the same trick twice.
Twice. You know, I'm beginning to think neither of you are actually worthy of being the Iron Fist because you both seem to suck and fall for the same tricks.
Well, that's why at the end, Colleen ends up with the fucking Iron Fist.
Again, I have never seen a show leave a main character behind so hard for another character. Because again, Colleen was one of the few things people liked about season one. She was one of the few things people liked about Defenders, or one of the things people liked more about Defenders, and they even talked about her in Luke Cage. So it's like, okay, you're the main character now.
Yeah. It's not like a Danny Rand Iron Fist show, and it's a Colleen Wing show now.
Featuring Danny Rand occasionally,
Yeah.
which even when they try and walk that back, where it's like, well, is Danny still going to be in the show? Yep, he sure is. He's not going to be the Iron Fist anymore. We're just going to turn him into Orson Randall now and give him magic guns. But
That's the thing. He's just Orson Randall now. He even has
yeah,
his costume.
yes, he does. It's like, but wasn't Orson Randall another character? Yes. So you've completely given up writing Danny Rand? Yes.
Yes. We're
Yes,
writing Orson Randall now.
That's fine. He's a good character. I'm glad you know who he is. I'm glad you read the Fraction Brubaker stuff, but apparently you didn't pay very close attention.
No, they read all like the Orson stuff and the Wing stuff, but like I was like, oh, Danny Rand's in this.
Yeah, boo. We don't like that guy. And again, too, it gets confusing too because another one of Davos's like 700 motivations for why he's a bad guy is like, oh, my daddy liked Danny more, and my mom was an evil bitch. Where it's like, wait, is your mom actually Crane Mother in this? So your actual mother is Crane Mother, who is a villain and is doing wrong. Why did Danny never notice this and say anything? And especially, why did your dad, the Thunderer, never notice and say anything?
Yeah, reasons.
I really truly believe that scene, because it's never mentioned again, that they filmed that very late. Like they watch it and they're like, ooh, he doesn't have a strong motivation. Now let's give him mommy issues.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, then like, oh, we've got father issues over here with the Meachams and everything. We'll give them mother issues now.
Yeah, we'll give him some mother issues, which never really comes up except for the fact that he kind of gets a weird boner for Joy halfway into the season. It's like, oh, is he getting Oedipal? Is he like trying to replace his mother with Joy because she's all like tough and, you know, like condescending and shit?
Yeah.
There's a sex tape subplot that goes nowhere too.
Yeah, like, what the fuck? That makes no fucking sense to do that to Davos.
Which, it's like, I could see what they were trying to do with him. Like, okay, he's like a Knights Templar type villain. He believes in purity and honor above all else, even if he has to kill people to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, he kind of compromised himself in this situation. It never comes up again.
Yeah, who are they going to send the tape to? Like if they release it, what's got to happen? Someone at Kunlun's going to see it and be, oh, it can't come back. Oh, it can't come back.
On the Kunlundian internet, nah, Davos, we saw your ball sack. No kung fu for you.
Yeah, you can't have the Iron Fist.
Yeah, who is he trying to make proud? What the fuck does he care?
Yeah.
It's so goddamn weird. One of the things I did like, even though again she is nothing like she is in the comics, Typhoid Mary was interesting.
She's probably like the most interesting thing in the show.
She is, even though you could take her out and it wouldn't change anything. Yeah. Even her whole reason for being there is flawed, where it's like, ooh, I need someone to drug Danny so I can steal his Iron Fist. Well, why don't you do it? You're like a cool kung fu badass. No, I need to hire someone to do it. Someone with a split personality who I don't vet very well. Okay. And then she just drugs him. She has no superpowers, but she's able to beat him in a fight and drug him quite easily.
And it was like really glossed over. It was like, how were you able to beat the Iron Fist? It's like, oh, I watched him.
Yeah, like, very closely.
Okay.
This whole show could have been finished in like 2 episodes if someone figured out, oh, a trank gun. I can put drugs in a gun.
Oh, we didn't think of that.
And again, unlike in the comics, you know, Typhoid Mary, she has 3 personalities, and each one is like a mutant with its own superpower and everything. She has no superpowers here. She's just like a good fighter lady.
Yeah, kind of like a female Punisher, I guess.
Yeah, very much so. And she only has 2 personalities, which is Walker and Mary, which I like. They make that as a big thing, like, oh, your name is Mary Walker. Yeah, we know. We put that together. And also, she has maybe a third personality. That's the thing that got me. The final episode, Davos is defeated, everything is done. Oh no, we need to set up possible spin-offs. So, oh, there's a secret third personality she didn't know about.
Yeah, yeah. She was the best part, but it still wasn't really well written. Even like the part that like we find out like what triggers her like to turn into Walker, and it's like rain and everything, and she has to like leave the taps on and everything. And I think I remember I like tweeted out like that's really wasteful. Why not? Doesn't she get like one of those like waterfalls, little electric waterfalls, instead of leaving all the taps on around the fucking house?
So wasteful.
Or like an iPod with the sound of water or something.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's like, oh, aren't you interested to figure out what the third personality is? Shouldn't she get her own series or maybe show up in Punisher or something?
Yeah, I don't really particularly care.
Well, again, none of this has anything to do with Iron Fist. The writers just had nothing for Iron Fist to do.
Yeah, I do like with not Iron Fist, with Typhoid Mary's like origin, they kind of tied in with like Sokovia and everything.
Yeah, that was unexpected. I like that the TV shows are referencing the movies more.
Yeah.
Which I actually talked about this in Philly. Everyone's like, well, okay, well, at what point was that in Sokovia then? Because it couldn't have been before Ultron blew it up in the sky. I guess Sokovia is like a lot of places in Russia. It's just in a constant state of war.
Yeah, I guess so. It could have been before, and like I like to think like maybe like the people that like put her there were like because they make reference to like the Sokovian forces put them there. With I like to think it was like Zemo's team of Black Ops operatives and stuff.
Oh, I like that she knew Zemo and everything, or she fought against Zemo because she was American and Zemo is Sokovian. That's fun. I like that. Yeah, hey, let's see that crossover, please, at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really, what else can we say about Iron Fist? It's funny. It's like it went on for so long, but it's like the stakes were really low compared to the other shows. It was only 10 episodes. It was actually shorter than the other ones too.
Yeah, and it still somehow made it feel like it went over it overstayed its welcome, basically.
Didn't it? Because again, like the last 20 minutes of the show are just them setting up other potential spin-offs they could do.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Like, why are they having such trouble adapting Iron Fist? Every other show they've all got their little corners, they got their stuff, but like Iron Fist is just some trouble. Is it because like they're getting people that don't like the character or something, or?
That's likely. That could be a thing. People who don't really get him, maybe they feel like all the good stuff has already been done by the other shows, where it's like, oh, we'll have him fight ninjas like he does in the comics. Nah, Daredevil's got ninjas. Okay, we'll have him do I don't know, we'll have him do this other stuff. Here's another problem, I think, and this is huge. It's one thing they fixed, but it's something I wish they did better. We get more flashbacks to Kunlun this season, and that's good.
Yeah.
We don't get near enough, though. In the 10 hours of television, we see maybe 5 minutes of Kunlun.
Yeah, there's not really that much.
And this is where the problem comes into place. Davos, Danny, they keep talking about their life in Kunlun and how it shaped them and how important it was to them and, who their teachers were and who their fathers were. We don't know these people. We haven't met these people. We don't see these people for more than a few seconds. Literally, how am I supposed to get invested in this show when I don't know why they're fighting?
Yeah, and that's the thing, like that big fight we see between Davos and Danny in Kunlun, where they have like the masks on and everything. That's supposed to be like the thing that like drove Davos to like being evil, but like
the dark side.
It really wasn't. He just got beaten kind of like fair and square by Danny.
Danny outsmarted him.
Yeah, and like what you need to do is you need to show that them like training and like his father kind of like focusing on Danny a little bit more and like treating him like a son and like leaving Davos to just do his own thing and all that. Kind of like the Snake Eyes Storm Shadow thing in G.I. Joe.
Exactly. You need to Star Wars it up is what you need to do. You need to have the Thunder be like, I love my son, but I see a great darkness in him.
Yeah.
I blame his mother. It's all her fault. She did it. And again, everyone talked about like, oh, wasn't Ward so great this season overcoming his addiction and his relationship with that woman? I'm like, yeah, but none of it was Iron Fist.
None of it related to anything, so...
No, in fact, they don't even meet that woman. That woman only exists in the Ward part of the universe. She never crosses paths with anyone else.
Yeah, and then Ward's like, "Oh, I'm better now. I'm gonna go help Danny, cause reasons."
Because I need to find myself and I'm just gonna leave now. But it's like, dude, you just knew you were gonna become a father, so you're gonna abandon this woman who's pregnant with your kid now. What a character arc, dude. And Joy too, I'm like, I don't give a shit about you. Her plan was stupid too, like, oh, I want revenge on my brother and Danny for lying to me about my abusive piece of shit father. And then, like, when she gets her revenge, like, okay, we drugged him and left him on a park bench and took away his powers. No, that's too much. I didn't want that.
That's what I don't understand. She was getting mad at like Ward and everything for him keeping like secrets, like her father was abusive. I'm like, but like he was just trying to help you, you know. Like why are you mad? Why are you trying to like drug him and like take away powers from his friend and everything and
Yeah,
all this evil
it's like,
shit?
what level of revenge would you have been okay with? No, I just wanted you to kick him in the nuts a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, just you know, just like trash his house a little bit, you know.
Like wait till he falls asleep and put some toothpaste in his hand, then wake him up so he does that thing. That's all I wanted. But yeah, I mean, really, what else can we say about this? Oh, there was a little Daredevil stinger. So again, too, to show you how much they didn't trust Iron Fist, they had to put a Daredevil stinger at the end of it in hopes you'd watch to the end.
Yeah, and of course we're going to be watching Daredevil because that's the better show. So
Because it's fucking Daredevil. Just, man, made me... This... Season 1 was rough. It was bad.
it was.
But I kept watching it almost out of, like, a sixth sense of, like, how much worse can this get?
Yeah, like come on, it's got to get better. It's got to get better. It's got to get better, but it never did.
Like,
and then yeah.
And then it just ended on, like, a wet fart note. Season 2 starts better and stronger. Like, yeah, cool, Danny's fighting crime in the streets. He's doing that. He still doesn't have a costume. And in fact, when we do see him in the mask and the gi, it looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad they went with the Orson Randall costume. He's basically wearing all of Orson Randall's costume except the mask.
Yeah, it's a cool suit, and he's got cool guns, and Orson Randall's just cool. Again, for those who don't know, Greg Rucka and Matt Fraction, in their Immortal Iron Fist run, would devote like every couple issues to telling the story of an old Iron Fist, and the first one was Orson Randall.
Yeah.
Then the second one was actually the Pirate Queen, who we find out in this show, the Pirate Queen is actually an ancestor of Colleen Wing.
Yeah, again, kind of taking it away from Danny and giving it all to Colleen.
Yeah, being like, no, her family was always part of the Iron Fist legacy, you see?
That was like another thing, that thing around the her sword, when they like turned it over, it had like the Iron Fist sort of logo thing on it. I'm like, really? You never noticed that?
Yeah, you never thought to look at this any closer than not at all?
Nah.
Okay, that's fine.
Jeez.
But yeah, but like season 2, it was improved, but it was just boring because I had no reason to be invested in anything.
Yeah, you're like, come on, just show us some Iron Fist, show us some like cool action and stuff, but like none of it really ever came.
Give me any reason to be invested in any of this, and like again, I'm not invested in the main hero, and it's clear you're not invested in the main hero anyway. He might not even be the main hero as far as you're concerned.
Well, he's not. By the end of it, he's basically a secondary character.
He got demoted in his own show. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's not even in New York anymore. He's off around the world while Colleen's left to defend it as the Iron Fist.
Do you think they're going to do a season 3 at this point, or do you think this
Probably
is their
not.
like, look, they can show up in other stuff? Because I mean, if they do a season 3 and if Colleen is the main character, don't even call it Iron Fist anymore. Just call it Daughters of the Dragon, or call it Daughter of the Dragon, and just have Misty show up a bunch.
They should do that, and then like send Danny off to Luke Cage. Him and Luke Cage get Heroes for Hire. He seems to work really well with the Luke Cage characters, as well as
Writers,
like
yeah.
the writers and crew actually know what to do with him and how to showcase his powers.
Can the guy who did Luke Cage season 2, can they just do Iron Fist next season? Because they seem to have a better grasp on the characters.
Yeah, totally.
Another thing too, Misty was stronger in season 2 of Luke Cage, because she's fighting like Bushmaster as he's all steroided out and everything, and she's doing completely fine. Here, regular old Mary is giving her a hard time.
Yeah, that as well as like, didn't she also have like an upgraded arm as well in this? Like it was slightly more upgraded.
It was, and she talks about upgrading it again, and she talks about being a private detective, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna bling it out next time. Like, it's gonna be gold next time.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they even mention the Nightwing, the like detective agency her and Colleen put together.
That's cool.
That's called Nightwing.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, the one joke that actually made me laugh, because this season wasn't very funny either, is the other thing. Usually you can count on Marvel stuff to be funny, but this was like one of the most dour, most serious ones. One joke that made me laugh is when Colleen and Misty are hanging out in the car together and like, oh, that's a 616 perp with potential metahuman powers.
Yeah, that's cool.
That was fun. I'm like, where was this? Where was this for the rest of the show? Why was this one such a slog?
I don't know. It was such a slog, but it was shorter. That's what makes me like, so like, am I insane?
Yeah, how could this be shorter but feel longer?
I know.
Oh, we gotta talk about this. Eye patched lieutenant guy.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him for a second and the weird non-arc that was his. This is how I thought it was going to go. Misty says, oh, I had a cop friend who was working deep undercover with the Triads. He got to be like second in command of one of the gangs. Then we see this guy who's got an eye patch and is in second command in one of the gangs. I kept waiting for the moment of being like, you were the one. You went too deep. You went like, what is it, like that freaking Scorsese movie. You went Infernal Affairs, and now you're drinking Davos's Kool-Aid. I must defeat you and retain honor to the police. That also never happened.
Yeah, they just kind of just like faded away.
I kept waiting. I'm like, okay, when's this shoe gonna drop? Right, this is the guy, right? This guy has to be the guy.
This is Misty's little arc.
Yeah, this will be her mini boss to fight, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
Just nothing. Again, they said this makes me feel like they either greatly re-edited this or reshot it, because there's storylines that start and just never finish.
It feels like that, doesn't it? Like, yeah, they set up all this stuff and then they're like, oh, what do we do now? Okay, we got this, but okay, we've got to fit it in 10 episodes. If we had 13, we could do it, but we don't. So, okay, we'll just take it out here, and there. We can't take that out because it doesn't make sense with everything else, so we have to leave that in. Yeah.
You might have a point. Maybe some subplots got lost when they had to cut down the episodes to only 10. Like, remember this? Remember Danny's buddy at the moving company who's like, oh, yeah, they asked me to join the Golden Tigers back in the day. And, I was a gangster, but I reformed. Like, ooh, is that going to come back? Are they going to reach out to him again because of the gang war and he's going to be torn and Danny might have to fight his friend? No, that also never happened. Yeah. He stopped showing up.
Yeah, he just, like, fades away. And so does Danny's job there. Like, just... Like, I have a job, but, like, I go sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, I know Danny ain't shown up for work in about 4 weeks. Who's paying the rent around here? Colleen ain't teaching Kung Fu. That was another moment that, like, I enjoyed, but it should have, A, come sooner, and B, been better. Danny's like, oh, I've lost my powers, my leg is broken, but, I need to train if I can beat Davos. Will you train me, Misty? No. Or, will you train me, Colleen? No, I won't help you kill yourself. They do the bulk of their training off camera.
Yeah, like, yes, and they start, like, taking that apart, like, because they're living in their dojo now, and he starts, like, moving the furniture, and, like, and then, like, yeah, it just cuts to, like, her training him. And
yeah, we literally come back in episode 8, and she's like, oh, I've trained your body, but it's your mind you need to. I'm like, we didn't see any body training.
Yeah.
That should have been an episode. That should have been a thing where they work through the relation problems, but no, it was just done.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically Iron Fist 2 in a nutshell. A lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Wasn't as bad as season 1, but I actually wouldn't recommend it.
I wonder if this is why that we're going to be getting, like, Daredevil within the next month or so. Like, it's like just sort of like to push it out of the way. Like, yeah, Daredevil and then Punisher.
Let's forget this happened.
Yeah.
Unlike season 1, 2, they seem to have downplayed the importance to everything else, because season 1 of Iron Fist actually ended up being super important with the hand and all of that other stuff.
Yeah.
Here, it seemed like there wasn't as much importance to the rest of the world as what happened here.
Nah.
Yeah. So I guess that more or less does it for the show, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and favorite if you would be so kind. If you're a patron, you'll get to listen to this one first before anyone else. It also goes up on SoundCloud and iTunes usually around Thursday. And yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to talk about, Matt?
No, keep an eye out on my channel, however, for a vlog or whatever. I'm not really sure what I'm doing yet for Oz Comic Con this weekend.
Right.
I'll be looking forward to that. I'll probably be Instagramming and Facebooking and Twittering it and everything. So yeah, really looking forward.
Social medias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will keep an eye out for that. That should be fun. That should be interesting. So yeah, I guess that'll do it for us, everyone. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back again next week with another episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.